My name is Emily Rubin, and I'm one of the co-authors of the SCERTS model. SCERTS was designed to help families and educational teams to work together in a coordinated way to navigate all of those evidence-based practices that we have to support our children and young learners with social emotional learning differences. Right now, there's a lot of confusion about what do we need to be working on, what strategies we need to be using, but we need to be thinking about where is this child neurodevelopmentally? What are the current priorities that we need to be facing? If a child is not yet using words to communicate, whether they're not using speech, they're not using picture communication or sign language, we need to be focusing on helping that child become captivated with the social world. We need to make sure that spontaneous nonverbal communication is our priority and that people are the focus of their world. Once we get higher rates of nonverbal communication, then we can shift into thinking about language goals, the ability to use pictures or speech or other forms of symbolic communication like sign language. But even at that point, if this is a social learning difference, SCERTS is going to remind us if we want our child to progress through the stages of language acquisition, we need to make sure that we're not just working on nouns or object labels, but using people's names and verbs. And we also need to keep in mind that their emotional regulation might be a challenge, and we need to make sure that they have language to communicate emotion and can request things that will make them feel better when they're feeling stressed. As they move toward conversational stages, we've often seen children develop higher rates of social motivation. They're interested, they're excited about the social world, they're captivated, but they don't always know what we're thinking. And as a result, we need to work on their social conventions, their ability to know what is an effective vocal volume, or how close to stand, or how far to stand, or what to talk about, or even when to talk. But we need to make sure we're doing that while building up their sense of self-confidence as communicators. The SCERTS framework provides us with a set of goals and objectives that helps us pick our targets very carefully. They're evidence-based. We know that if you work on these things, it's going to improve the active engagement of your learner. By the way, SCERTS refers to 3 different domains: social communication, emotional regulation, and transactional support. We want our learners to increase their social communication skills and their emotional coping skills, but more importantly, we want to make sure that our learners have the transactional support they need. That refers to what we do as family members, as teachers, teaching assistants, and therapists. How do we modify our communication style and the environment to make the world more irresistible and more predictable for them? I hope that you will join us in the upcoming training.